Let's do somebody new to the channel. Um. Okay. So, previous viewers of my channel may remember when I did videos with G-Man. Like, yeah, G-Man. Um, and he has a couple of little buddies. And one of them is here, True Puricism. Now, True is a flat earther, or I guess he was a flat earther, or he hasn't communicated it because, like, there are videos of him talking about how the earth is flat because he's never left Gary, Indiana. And shit, I'm not knocking Gary, Indiana, but shit, I'm not that far from Gary. I'm about an hour from Gary, Indiana, and I actually have some friends from Gary, Indiana, but he's on that mindset of I'm not leaving my town mindset, and then I want to pontificate about the world. He's of that mindset, more like a small town mindset where doesn't have to learn shit else about the world, but what he thinks the truth is out there. And yeah, this gets fun, guys. This gets fun. But let's continue.
What's going on, everybody? So, I got a comment earlier, and kind of a disappointing comment. And because of it, I'm going to give a bit of an announcement right now. Somebody said that the Great Diluter Act referred to that took place in the early 1600s, and yes, obviously that's true.
All right, so what ended up happening is True was in a conversation with somebody from the. If you don't know what the Great Debate community is, it was a community of theists and atheists or agnostics. And basically, that's how this whole thing kicked off. That's how I got to this part of YouTube, and one of the reasons why I was encouraged not to just do gaming, but commentary. What ended up happening is True was having a discussion, and he wanted to make a comment that there is no such thing as a separation of church and state, which, yes, you may say is part of the First Amendment, where Congress should not establish any religion. You know, because people were descendants of that shit, where they were like literally descendants of the people that ran away for religious freedoms. And in some cases were those people that ran away for more religious freedoms. And, you know, that's time works, you know, linearly for, you know, us fucking people. That we know how time works, True. Now, you may mention that it was determined that the Great Diluter Act was from the 1600s. I want you to keep that same energy, dog. I want you to keep that same energy.
Which is, you know, it's the same thing with like those two that I was speaking to last night. When I say look into the Great Diluter Act, look up the Great Diluter Act, you should look up the information that goes along with it, because with the what happened in the early 1600s, that carried on over to the last, you know, 100 years after the Great Diluter Act.
So, if you haven't studied American history, that's great. And this is one of the things that when you see these internet debates with guys, especially like true empiricism, and you know, people do this in live like discussions. They bring up a topic where you haven't researched, but I know this fucking factoid, and because I know this factoid and you can't counter it because you haven't looked it up, and I'm resting my whole argument on it, then I must be right because you can't counter it right then and there. It's the whole Gish Gallop type. What is the other fucking fallacy where it's just you just bringing up a point because you can't fact check them right then and there. So there's like, haha, I won the point, and I sound correct because I'm more sure about it because reasons. You get these people where they can even completely misconstrue a point. Do you know this man said that the Congress in 1600, saying that the Congress wasn't really established to 1787, where the complete Constitution was passed. The Congress in 1600 okayed the Great Diluter Act. Now, if you're a normal person with integrity, you know how time works. Congress can't pass an act when Congress didn't exist. The real act was the colony of Massachusetts was trying to make sure that people could fucking read. So they specifically okayed the Bible. Now, let's continue.
From off the top of my head, I mean, like 1844, Gerard and Riddell, I believe it was. There was a court ruling that insisted that that the Bible obviously was going to be taught in the classroom. And many of the founding fathers, they used the same reasoning as the Great Two-Liter Acts.
No, many of the founding fathers were deists. In reality, you could actually even say some were atheists. Like, look at the Jefferson Bible. I mean, like, we have documented proof of this true. We do. We can actually look at the shit and say, hey, this is what this said back here. This is what they implied here. This is what they clearly said. Like, what is that? The Treaty of Tripoli? I can't speak. Where they say, America is not a Christian nation. We are a secular one. But because True believes it, then it must be true. But let's continue.
It's just that the Bible should be taught in the classrooms. I mean, that was just the train of thought before the colonies and after the colonies and after.
Now, see, he just threw it in. It was before the colonies. So he knew is about religious. The Congress didn't set this shit. Like, for real. Like, oh my god, you're admitting to the fact that you're fucking wrong, but you too fucking pig-headed to see because you have a narrative that you have a narrative that you want to actually tell it. Well, god damn it, facts don't fit my narrative. So I have to beat and bend and force these facts to fit what I wanted to say. Because if it doesn't, then I look like a fucking fool.
The United States. And because there's so much information in regards to this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
Like, no, it's easy to find the information. Just Google food shit. Like, it's literally easy to find the information. All you have to do is just look the shit up.
Something I've never done before. I'm gonna maybe not this Sunday. I don't know if it's gonna be this Sunday or not. If it's gonna be this Sunday or next Sunday. Probably. I'm going to be doing a hangout where I am going to be giving a presentation talking about all this information because there's a lot of it. And if I just help.
Spoiler alert: he didn't do the hangout. Also, spoiler alert, he was challenged to a debate, which he was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do because it's Super Bowl Sunday. Yes, we are doing this. What day was this video done? Oh. And this is one of the videos that he didn't take down, surprisingly. He didn't put the date that this was done. Thank you, True, for being a fucking coward.
People will look into this direction. I might know what I'm referring to, but they're not going to get the gist of it. They're honestly going to be too lazy to go look into the information.
Wait, I may get it, but they're going to be too lazy to look into the information. Please, give me the information. I would have no problem with looking into the information. But you don't. You wouldn't, because that would actually disprove what you're saying. But let's continue.
I mean, because there's so many quotes out there, so much references out there to the Great Diluter Act. Hey, what's going on? Jesus is Lord.
Citation, please.
So many references out there from the 1600s all the way to the probably the late 1800s, I would say. But I think there's one example after like 1910 where the Bible was still in the classroom in certain places. It was only the last 60 or 70 years where this new interpretation of separation of church and state was really being.
What new interpretation? There has literally been the same interpretation over and over again. That the U.S. is a secular nation. And I'm sorry for idiots like this who actually want it to be a Christian nation. The reason why that isn't done because it may not be your brand of Christianity. It just may not be that brand of Christianity that you like. And when that happens, you're not going to like it, my friend. It's going to be a problem for you. And then you're going to be like, oh, woe is me, they're persecuting me. I don't get it. Am I the only one that sees this shit? But let's continue.
Implemented in the classrooms. But like I said, these people, they're too lazy. They're not going to go look into this information.
And you're too lazy to give the information, True. But let's continue.
So this Sunday, or the Sunday after this Sunday, I don't know when it's going to be. Hopefully I can do it beforehand. I'm going to give a presentation. There's going to be a lot of information I'm going to throw at you guys. A lot of like people making statements about Benjamin Franklin not being a Christian or not believing in God, claiming that he's a deist.
Being a deist doesn't mean that you don't believe in God. By definition, being a deist the definition is you believe in a God. Does that mean Christian? No. It means that you believe in some all-powerful creator or a creator deity. That's what being a deist actually means. And you want to make sure Ben Franklin is on your team to be Team Christian, where Ben Franklin did shit that he literally did experiments to figure out the world, to take power or awe away, and that's what it really was, awe away from a belief in the supernatural. He was a deist, dog. Why does that hurt your feelings so bad that he may have been a deist? But let's continue.
Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, Jefferson really fucking hated anything supernatural in the Bible. Like, that was his thing. It's the reason why we have the Jefferson Bible. For real. He hated supernatural shit. Come on.
Pain. All of these things that you hear these people say, they don't understand what they're talking about. And what they've done is
citation needed.
All they've done is they've grabbed a hold of quotes on the internet from some secular website, and they've never done a study on this.
Oh, please give me your research. Give me the research of you showing where there is contradictory evidence, just like they're taking quotes from some secular website. I don't know. Maybe fucking sites which talked about their lives and has no bias either way of being Christian or an atheist or secular. Secular.
But I've been looking into this for years. I don't know if you guys remember Jade West when she was around. Yeah, we used to go back and forth over the evolution things sometimes. But this,
Wait, why are you bringing up evolution where we're talking about, you know, the separation of church and state? Why?
this topic right here, separation of church and state, was what we usually go back and forth on. So I've been talking about this for years. I've been looking into this information for years, and I know what to say. So this Sunday or next Sunday.
So here's the thing. What the fuck did evolution have to do with the separation of church and state? Why is that an issue for you, man? Why is that all of a sudden an issue for you? And then, here's the thing. From what I know from the young lady, Jade, she was Catholic. So, do you really want a state where they have a set religion? What if, again, this is a situation, what if it's not your particular brand of that religion? What do you do then? How do you feel about that shit now? Let's continue.
There's going to be a very good, long-winded presentation. It's going to probably be very long, and I'm going to make sure I have all the material there so I can lay it all out. That way, whenever this topic is brought up again, you guys are better prepared to engage with the topic at hand. Because last night with with Brenda and Ron, and it was kind of ridiculous.
Oh, we
I actually
fucking
ended up
killing
finding
this thing
noise.
quick.
The funny thing about the discussion last night,
Now, he's looking to kind of score points for his poor performance in the discussion last night. That's what this is about. This is about nothing else but him looking to score points. And I get it. Like, dude, you got embarrassed on your channel. And let's actually...
is that I when Brenda came in, she does what she usually does, right? You can hear her typing away on the keyboard.
Oh, wait a minute. So she was looking up the information to make sure that you aren't full of shit? Really? Somebody's not just taking your word for you being a known liar or exaggerator. And they're looking the shit up because they don't trust your opinion about things or your understanding of knowledge. Oh, they shouldn't look it up because they should just trust you, right? Is that what it is, true? That somebody just doesn't just trust that you're not talking bullshit? But let's continue.
And so you know she doesn't know what the topic's about. She's just found the first thing she could find on Google, obviously. And so
Funny, it sounds like when somebody calls you out on looking up the shit that you're saying, that, oh no, that shit is true, that shit is real. When they call you out on that bullshit, you have a fucking issue. Almost as if you don't think you need to be questioned.
I knew of what the topic was about. I knew what
Because you opened the Hangout, you idiot.
That was published by Congress. You know, the information involved with it, but I wasn't aware of the motive behind Congress beforehand.
So what ended up happening is, and this is one of the things that he's actually trying to conflate together, was that after the War of Independence, in Europe, one of the rules is you couldn't print shit without it being approved by the government. Now, here's the thing. The guy who was trying to print the Bible literally came to Congress and said, hey, can I print shit without any funding, without any approval process? They was like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. This is not our bad. We don't care. And that's what he said. He got approval from Congress. Not that Congress actually required the approval. It's just that they didn't say no. And not saying no, and listen to me, all these motherfuckers who don't understand this. Not saying no is not the same thing as a yes. I think I need to just say that for some people because they don't understand that concept. Just for some odd reason, they don't understand that concept. But not saying no is not the same thing as saying a yes. Okay, okay, pumpkins. But let's continue.
And that they were going to try to get 20,000 Bibles brought in, and they're concerned for the welfare of the children and people, in our society. They wanted those Bibles brought in for religious reasons, and it really narrowed it down.
No, they wanted those Bibles in because people were running out of fucking Bibles. Like, and you couldn't, because of the war and the trade embargo, they couldn't get enough Bibles. So the guy wanted to actually start printing Bibles. And he thought that America wasn't the different country that it turned out to be, being a secular country. And he thought he had to ask permission to actually print a Bible, which he didn't. That's what happened, dog. But let's continue.
When we found out that Congress actually produced a resolution, and they themselves got a committee together, they became a government task to actually get the publisher to get these Bibles produced in our country. So
it wasn't a government task. They just said you can print what the fuck you want. That's what happened. Like, he's so caught up on actually, like, proving his point because he doesn't want to look bad. If it was just a misunderstanding, people corrected him at the time. But he doesn't want to look bad because he says this and his identity is tied into him appearing to be right. But let's continue.
I mean, you can't really get any more refined than that. Well, Congress is using almost all of its governmental powers to help to produce a Bible, and that's something that they deny. They think that separation of church and state shouldn't allow. So what I'm trying to say is that
it's almost as if he was corrected and now he's trying to ad hoc his own correction in the back end. Like, for real. But let's continue.
When we looked into it, we ended up finding out that there were even more reasons that violated their assessment of separation of church and state than what we were originally looking into as we were reading on. And so, like, these guys are not prepared. Obviously, these guys are atheists. They obviously.
So, they don't understand because the way I see it is right. And because they're atheists. Like, he's literally playing to his audience. Oh my God. Like, is that a thing where you play to your audience? I like at least try to make my video for the audience of the motherfuckers who I feel that these people are making their video for. Like, if you look at my incel content, my red pill content, I am not trying to just play for an audience because, it makes me feel good to get affirmation. No, I literally want conversations with these people and not debates like you will see from a lot of these other guys. I literally want to be able to have a conversation with these guys and see why they believe the shit that they do. Maybe we can have an understanding of not the whole we got to agree to disagree, but like, dude, can you see my evidence? Can you see my point? I really want to have that conversation. But these motherfucking jokers, what they really just want is somebody just to trust and believe them without any fucking question. And it's just like, you don't get that, dog. You don't just get unquestioned like support because it makes you feel good. That's not how this works, man. But let's continue.
Don't like that truth, the fact that we are a Christian-based society, not just in population, but historically speaking.
But we're not, dog. We like our first treaty, the Treaty of Tripoli says we're not a Christian nation. And treaties are laws. That's why they require Congress to pass. Because they are laws.
And I'm going to jump on that. There's going to be a lot of information I'm going to throw at you guys this Saturday, or I'm sorry, this Sunday or next Sunday. If I can do it beforehand, I'm going to do it. You guys will, you'll get an announcement, but I don't think it's going to be before Sunday, just because of where my schedule is. But that's it, guys. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. At least if you're an atheist, like, watch it, even if you don't agree with it.
Oh, cool. Let's see what he says through that video. Because I'm pretty much done with this. Ah! Oh shit! But let's let him finish.
Because I think you'll be intrigued, and I think that you're probably not going to be prepared for the angles that I'm going to be approaching this towards, and maybe eventually, maybe some of you guys will actually concede that I'm right about this topic of.
So we get down to the real brass tacks about it. I'm right. You can listen to me. I have your respect. I was right. I was right. Like, seriously? It's about you being right versus the fucking truth? That's what this really is about? But let's go to his other channel. Let's go to his channel. True empiricism. Wait. Did he? Let's do videos. Did he? Oh. He didn't do the video where he was talking about. He didn't do the video where he was talking about the separation of church and state. Oh. Poor little Tink Tink.